to show how I drew the bell hanger using Inkscape. So open up Inkscape. I'm using Linux. Inkscape installs on Windows, Linux, and Mac, so you can run on anything. The menus might look slightly different, but it'll run on all of those. This is the actual drawing that I cut on my ArcDroid, so let's recreate that from memory. So the drawing is simply like 4 rectangles and a circle and an oval and a shape that I downloaded. So the vertical piece is millimeters. So let me change the settings here. I like to set the document defaults to inches. This doesn't really matter, but US letter in case you want to print it. Alright, so this shape is 4 inches. I need it to be 6 inches, and the width is 0.4. I'm going to make that 0.75, so 6 by 3/4. And the vertical piece is going to be the same dimensions. And I need a horizontal piece. Draw another rectangle. And typically these drawings are going to be black. I was doing something measuring trick that I learned from Bad Dog Metalworks. So we're still red, but black is what's going to get cut out. So this guy is going to be 0.75 tall and 6 inches wide. And now I want to align these. Might as well use our alignment tools. Select them both. Arrange these guys. So I want to set the rights to the same and set the tops to the same. So that creates the frame of the object. And let's see, now I need a circle on the end. That circle was 1.2 because that was about the size I needed to be able to weld that nut to it. So 1.2, 1.2, and we'll stick that on the end here. That's about right. Select the 2 of them. Set the center lines. And we're good. Wait, let's see. Actually, we're not good. I want this circle to align to the rectangle. And I hit this. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Center lines there. Alright, so now those are all lined up. And this piece keys into the back plate, so I need a 1/4 inch. I cut this out of 1/4 inch material, so I needed a 1/4 inch rectangle to go on the back there. So the height of that was 2 inches. My choice, that's what I used. And the width of material was 1/4 inch. I oversized that a little bit, made it a little loose. The tab would well, no, not this. The hole I oversized a little bit so that this would fit in it. Might not be necessary as the using the arrows to move that back and forth, because the curve of my plasma cutter actually made it a little sloppier than it needed to be. So these two, I want to make sure they're the aligned center line. And there we go. So that's the back plate. So I'm going to combine these guys now. Path, union. So that's a single path. Let's add the vertical piece. Path, union. Add the tab. Path, union. So that's all one big path now. If we change it to view the path, you can see the nodes. So a couple of things to add. We need the oval on the back, and we need the anchor. So the anchor I had downloaded. I just searched for anchor SVG. I think I might have added well, free, because I don't want to pay for it if I don't have to. And I added plasma and CNC, I think. So that's how I found this guy. So I'm going to import that SVG into this drawing. So include SVG as editable object in the current file. That'll work. And it's huge. That's okay, we can resize it. So if you control click the corner, you can resize it without messing with the aspect ratio, which is what we want to do. If you just grab one of the sides, you start squeezing it and deforming it. And that's not the intention here. I like the shape. So if I control click this, say something like that. It's already tilted. I could probably use that tilt. I may have used that tilt. I don't know. But let's say I want to tilt it a little bit more. I can click this and say, this anchor should lay over a little bit more. And we'll move it up here. Something like that. Something like that. So now I want to combine this with this. Shift, click this guy. Path, union. So now I have one path that has the anchor, my tab and everything. Only thing missing, let's see. Zoom out a little bit. The only thing missing is the back plate, which is an oval. That oval was 8 inches by 2 inches, if I remember right. So height, we'll make that 8 inches. And the width, width 2 inches. That looks right. And now I need a slot for this to fit in there. And that'll help me center this when I go to weld it together. So I need a 1/4 inch slot. And that needs to be 1/4 inch by 2 inch. So the height is going to be 2 inches. The width is going to be 1/4 inch. Oops. So I got this guy. That's what I need to cut out of it. I'll make that. Well, put it up here. Let's make it a color you can see. Put it up here. And then center it on the oval. So we'll hit center it horizontally, center it vertically. Now I want to cut that out of the oval. So I select this guy, path, difference. That cuts it out. So now I have a slot that'll fit fit my tab when I go to weld it together. And the only thing left to do is rotate this so I can save a little material. So fit this up in here, something like that. Shift click this, combine it into a single path. There we go. The only thing left that I would do is we need to file, document properties, resize the background to content, makes the file size smaller. It also makes it easier to zero your material when you're putting or import it into the InkDroid. So, because this will be the 0 point of the ArcDroid. I say ink droid, the arc droid. This will be the 0 point for your torch, and then it'll come up and cut. The only other thing I would point out is, so we have to save this in a file that the arc droid can read. The first thing I would do is save it as, let's make it demo 2, and I would save it as an SVG, so you can always go in and you could take the different paths apart and do whatever you wanted to do. If you wanted to come back to it, you can edit, resize, whatever you want to do. So save it in SVG format first. That's the native format for Inkscape. And then we'll save it as a DXF, which is, I believe, AutoCAD, but the ArcDroid likes it, so we can import it into the ArcDroid. Demo 2 DXF, save it. And this is the settings that I leave it at. Off, and on. Inches. There we go. So that file we can stick on the USB drive, go plug it into the ArcDroid, load it, and the ArcDroid will be able to load this. The only things that I tend to look at after that, you have to set it for the thickness you're cutting it out, and set the plasma cutter up for those things. But the other thing that happens is ArcDroid will come up with a cut order. Typically it's outside to in. I usually switch that to inside to out. So if I cut this and it moves, I don't care, because I'm going to cut the outside. If I were to cut the outside and it moved and then cut the inside, it could be off. So I tend to switch it to inside to out. And the other thing you want to look at is the lead in for your cuts. Make sure they're in the material you don't care about. You wouldn't want the lead in to be as part of this arm. You want it on the outside. So you'll have to decide whether you want center cut, left cut, right cut, and get that organized. And that's pretty much it. You can cut this. I'm sure there's more to it. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I learned from Bad Dog Metalworks. You can go to his channel. I'll link to it in the description. He's got much better videos than this. He's a good talker and has lots of experience, so go check him out. Other than that, hopefully someone finds this useful. I'm by no means an expert in any of this, but this is what I did to draw it, so again, hopefully somebody finds that useful.